This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Welcome to Covered in Pet Hair, a boozy show for pet lovers on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Isabel and today I have the pleasure of having a drink and a chat with an inventor of a tool that's going to make your life, litter scooping, so much easier. I will tell you all about her and introduce you as soon as we come back from these messages from our sponsors.
Take a bite out of your competition. Advertise your business with an ad in Pet Life Radio podcasts and radio shows. There is no other pet-related media that is as large and reaches more pet parents and pet lovers than Pet Life Radio. With over 7 million monthly listeners, Pet Life Radio podcasts are available on all major podcast platforms. And our live radio stream goes out to over 250 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, Odyssey, TuneIn, and other streaming apps. For more information on how you can advertise on the #1 pet podcast and radio network, visit PetLifeRadio.com/advertise today.
Let's talk pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Covered in Pet Hair. I'm your host, Isabel Alvarez-Arada, and today I have the pleasure of having a drink and a chat with a pet parent, an inventor, an entrepreneur. She's a former elementary school educator. She's an adventure seeker, a foodie, a wine snob, and a craft beer guru. She's no stranger to fine cocktails. She loves coffee and wants to travel the world. She is originally from Albany, New York. She currently lives in Boston. She's wife to Robert, whom is a very nice man that I had a drink with when we all met at SuperZoo. So shout out to Robert. It was nice to meet you. She's also mom to 3 human children with the sweetest little names. Their names are Etta, Adeline, and Ellery, which is such a unique and beautiful name. She has 2 cats. Her cats' names are Ashton and Penelope, and they are 9-year-old siblings. She is the founder of Cat Savant, and she's the creator of Scoop Buddy, a tool that we're going to discuss at length today that you're going to want to run out and buy to make scooping that litter box so much easier. Her name is Carolyn Rafferty. Welcome, Carolyn. It's so good to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here.
I'm so excited to catch up with you again, have another cocktail with you, and learn everything I didn't learn while we chatted at SuperZoo. I'm going to learn today.
Sounds like a plan.
Awesome. Okay, so before we get into your creation, your love of cats, and all the ways that you're going to solve litter scooping problems for so many people, I want to introduce our drinking game. So before we get into it, anybody participating in our drinking game today, anytime you hear this word,
The secret word is Penelope.
take a drink of whatever you're enjoying. It could be alcoholic, non-alcoholic. You might be boozy, you might not, but play along. So long as you are over 21 to partake in the US, of course, if you're having an alcoholic beverage, never drink and drive and always drink responsibly. So it's Friday, it's happy hour. What are you having, Carolyn?
I am having a Posh Prosecco. It's actually our own cocktail that we created. It's in Cats and Cocktails Club on Instagram. So we were part of my kitty, Penelope, was part of the group. And we got to host. And so we created our own cocktail. And the fun part is they are coming out with a Cats and Cocktails cocktail book. And Amazing. It's coming out at the end of November. So just in time for the holidays. And she is featured in the book. And they picked up our cocktail to go into the book. So we're very excited.
What is in a Posh Prosecco?
Yeah. So her Instagram handle is Posh Penelope. So we wanted to design a cocktail that went along kind of with her style. My husband and I, Robert, and I love gin. And I'm also a big fan of Saint Germain. Mm-hmm. So we did equal parts gin, Saint Germain with a little lemon juice, a little agave or a maple syrup, and then, shake it all up and then just top it with Prosecco.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Yes,
So
I'll send you the
good.
recipe. And also, you can get it in the book as well if you're interested.
I plan to get that book. I need to get that book. That
I
sounds
know,
amazing.
I'm so excited. I'm like, keep texting with the people that are, heading it. And actually, it's with surfer cat Mavi as well.
Yes.
So, and then all proceeds from the book will be going to a pet charity, which they just decided would be Mission Meow, where we are also business partners, and they fund phenomenal things for cat-centric organizations. So it's for a good cause as well. So all proceeds will be donated to that charity.
Yes, I love Mission Meow, and Sally, their founder. I met her at SuperZoo as well, and she is such a trip.
Yes, she is amazing.
She's so awesome. And the work that they do is so important. So cheers to all of the people you just mentioned doing good things to cats. Cheers. I'm toasting with a Mai Tai mule in my kids' like plastic thermos thing that says tropical vibes, because obviously we're in fall now and I miss the tropical vibes. But this is a Mai Tai. You make a Mai Tai and then you just add ginger beer and it's a mule now. So cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Mine is not as posh as yours. I'm going to try that.
This rosemary, it gives off such a nice essence, but be careful when you're sipping. Don't get poked.
Yes. I love it. I love that Penelope has a signature cocktail in her name. She's done more in the cocktail world than I have. And she's going to have to mentor me so that I can come up with my own cocktail one day.
Yes.
All right. So we got to get into your tool, which I am so excited to share with my audience. We're going to start by playing a game, and it's called Litter Box Thoughts. And all I want to know is your opinion. So I've let you off the hook because a lot of times I make people play trivia games, and I like say what I would have had to look up the history of litter boxes and ask you when it was invented. But I'm giving you a pass since it's Friday and you're a mom, and I know that mom brain is a thing, and I wasn't going to push you like that. We're going to chill and relax. So this is all your opinion. No wrong answers.
I appreciate it. Sounds like a plan.
Absolutely. So the first question I have for you is, how many litter boxes belong in a home?
It's always +1 of your number of kitties. So I currently have 2 kitties, so we do have 3 litter boxes. It's always a good number to have just an extra. I know that gets tricky though when you do have a multiple cat household. So you just do your best to, put them in different locations so they're not, all competing for the same spot. And just make sure you're scooping daily, of course, if you have, that many kitties going to the bathroom in one spot. So.
Absolutely. I feel like more important than the number of litter boxes you have is thinking, how often am I really going to scoop it, right? Because if you're going to scoop it once a week, you probably need 12.
Oh, right. Yeah. And sometimes if you put it out of sight, out of mind, and then you just simply forget about the cleaning process. And they like the cleanliness. I like the cleanliness.
Yes. You don't want to walk into a home that has a dirty litter box because you can smell it from the front door. Okay. Should a litter box be covered or uncovered?
Well, I think that's based on your opinion, your preference. What kitties prefer would be uncovered for sure. I know we have different styles personally. So my posh Penelope is quite messy in the litter box, and she kicks a lot. So we have to have a really tall, high-sided litter boxes for her in particular, or it's just, everywhere. Yes. So, I guess it's personal preference, but if you're looking for the kitty's preference, I would go with uncovered for sure.
Agreed 100%. The ones that we like usually are the ones that the cats hate.
Yes.
And vice versa. So it just kind of happens. We have to find a happy medium sometimes.
Yep, of course.
What kind of litter do you like?
Well, we are actually transitioning. So my cats, I personally like more sustainable options. Every time I've tried, it doesn't go well with them. So right now we're doing it again. I keep trying it with them. So right now we're actually transitioning to Catalyst cat litter. So, and right now it's about 50-50. So this is the closest we've gone. So I'm really excited. We're going to push it through, I think, fingers crossed.
Well, I will look for a review from you once you get there, because I'd love to hear your thoughts on Catalyst, because we all know that Sterling, the trap king, and Nathan, the cat lady, are like their
Yes.
spokespeople. They are always wearing robes for some reason
I saw
wherever
that
they
at
go.
SuperZoo.
I don't get the connection. I assume it's because when we scoop our litter boxes, we're in our robes or something. I don't know. I don't get the connection, but I love that they are partnered with them. And I assume that they do a lot because they're partnered with them, with Nathan and with Sterling. I would assume they do a lot of philanthropy. So I would love to hear more about your thoughts on Catalyst.
Yes. And actually, we were fortunate enough to meet them at SuperZoo as well and connected with them. So now I wanted to start transitioning us to our litter box. I was like, okay, let me try. I've tried other brands and it just didn't seem to really work. I've even tried the pellets, and personally that was just a no-go. I would just, it was something that Penelope received in the mail and I was like, oh, I'll try it, but no, it wasn't for them.
Yeah, I was a professional pet sitter for many, many years, and I had one client use the pellets and the cats loved it.
Really?
But I kind of felt like I needed the litter scooping experience. It was just a very different method to what I used with everybody else. So it was hard for me to adjust.
Right. I think if you start them when they are kittens, for sure. At the time, Penelope was probably about 3, 4. And so she just did not like it on her paws, like wouldn't even go near the box anymore. I'm like, okay, well, that's going to be a whole nother issue. Yeah. So we're going to go back to the original.
And that's why we're talking litter boxes, because if we get it wrong, it's a huge problem. And it's most huge, cats that are rehomed because of litter issues.
Yes, 100%.
It's so bad to let things happen. And it's sometimes pet parents just don't know that litter box is a problem, or the litter in there is a problem, or the lack of scooping is a problem, because our cats can't tell us.
Right, exactly. And then unfortunately, when you're soiling outside the litter box, so if you get into that point, that's a problem. And then if you don't have the bandwidth of like, okay, to problem solve, why is this happening? And then you're seeing a lot of the surrendering because of the litter box issue, opposed to just trying to a quick, change fix of something might really help, even sometimes the cleanliness of the litter box.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just scooping more or moving the box somewhere else. Like it could be so minor, but it is such a huge problem for, the harmony of the home, which I am a big believer in. Like everybody has to live harmoniously. And if the cat is doing things that are taking that harmony away, I understand where people are coming from, but that's why we're talking about it. Because if you learn from Carolyn, you don't have to worry about surrendering. You can troubleshoot. Have your resources right here. Okay. So automatic litter boxes. What do you think about those?
Not for me personally. They are quite pricey, in my opinion, and not something that is feasible for us right now. I heard from people when we were attending cat shows that even when they were coming over to see what our product was, they were asking to use it with their automatic litter box still, because they have to dump the tray, and the tray in the bag was missing. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting thought. I just, for me, I like to just go in and do that daily check-in with your cat's health. I mean, they are creatures that love to hide any kind of ailments. And so that litter box is such a quick health check-in. And I've caught something with my other cat, Ashton, where it was because of the litter box that I brought him to the vet, and we were able to be proactive, and things have been, much better for him now. But that's a huge key check-in. So if you're doing the automatic and you are dumping the tray at some point. I'm not sure how often that is personally, but I mean, if you're having all your cats use the same, you don't really know too much of information. I feel like it's just a lot of information that you get from that daily check-in of scooping.
Agreed. And for male cats, especially when because they're at risk of urinary blockages, you would see a little bit of blood, you would see less urine quantity, you would see things that you probably would miss with an automatic litter box. That is very true and very, very important. How about the plastic litter box liners? How do you feel about those?
I've never used them personally. I mean, I've always grown up in a house where we've had many cats. My mom never used them. I think, even when the cats are scratching and digging, it just seems like it just doesn't seem like it's going to work really.
Yeah,
personally.
Agreed. So my husband, when we first got Vango, my husband's never had an indoor cat. Obviously, I was a professional pet sitter for 7 years full time. And I had never seen these litter box liners being used. Like my clients just didn't use them. And I'm talking hundreds and hundreds of cats. So when we were buying the equipment we needed, he was like, how about these? And I was like, no. Like all I can see is a cat scratching that and just taking away the point of it. Like the nail will just, and now it's just spilling all over the place. Like, what's the point? And it is single-use plastic. So it's like, I don't see the benefit.
Not very sustainable options.
No, I just don't see the benefit, but I agree. Like, it's just not something that I see the benefit of. Some people might swear by it.
And my male cat, Ashton, he has a fear of plastic bags. Any kind of crinkle, anything. So I guess, just the texture. I mean, sometimes, cats are funny with textures too, or sounds. Yes. So that could be another thing.
Yes. And my cat on the opposite end of the spectrum loves plastic bags and likes to play with them. So he would probably just pull it out. Not that we knew, because I literally hadn't even brought my cat home when we bought all this stuff. But now that I see him, if there's a plastic bag on the ground, he's running on top of it because he likes that crinkle and he sits on it because I guess it's cooler or the texture's different. Yeah. So, what are you going to do? All right. Well, we've alluded to your tool now during this game. So congratulations. Thank you for sharing all those tips. Thank you so much. I want to learn about you and I want to learn about your tool. So let's start with you. You were an educator. Okay. Now you are the founder and creator behind Cat Savant. So tell me about Cat Savant.
So our mission is just to make cat parenting easier. And we're starting with the litter boxes. So we, as cat parents, and we were in the pandemic at the time that we kind of created this idea of Scoop Buddies. So it's always like, no, it's your job to do the litter box. No, it's your job. And then it's, all the mess that kind of comes along with litter boxes. So we're like, hey, it would be really cool if we could we're just always thinking like that. So what if we could find something that attaches the bag to the litter box? And so when we went out and, you go in the cat parenting aisle and there's very limited supplies. It's like the basic of the basics. It always has been. So we found nothing that solved our issue of just when you're trying to sift it out of the litter box and you're trying to make it into the waste bin, all that dirty litter that's kind of being sifted. That's what the sifts are, the scoop is supposed to do, is sift out the litter. So it's trickling all the dirty litter debris until you get to your waste basket. And so we're like, let's just, what if we create something kind of joking, but then, here we are. So.
Okay. So you created the Scoop Buddy. So describe the Scoop Buddy to us. I've obviously already seen it, but for those who are listening on radio, they can't actually see it. What is it?
Okay, so it's a litter box add-on. So it attaches these little clips. Every curve of the design makes a difference. So it is as universal as it gets to work with any litter box that you scoop. And they attach to the sides of the litter box, and it holds your waste bag in place. So there's no segue between the sifting and the waste basket. They're flexible and they're very easy to use. And they make litter scooping so much easier, so much faster. I have 3 small kids, so it's, I feel like time is, of the essence. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's, I'm going fast and it just makes it that much easier.
And you need basically one per litter box?
So it comes in a set of 2.
Perfect.
You could actually, some of the people that we worked with when we first launched, they started just using 1. Because I guess that, if it depends how big your litter box is, how big your waste bag is. But the set, it comes in a set of 2 and they attach on either side. And you can, spread it to the width of your desire. And then you attach your waste bag. So any kind of bag that you have in your home, or even we use compostable waste bags too, any kind of pet waste. So it's as universal as it gets with nearly any style litter box and pretty much any waste bag that you prefer.
And so it comes in a set of 2. If you had multiple litter boxes, you could easily remove it and put it on the next litter box, right?
Yeah. And, what I was saying, we have 3 litter boxes in our home. So I have them on each set. So I don't have to, carry, because not all litter boxes are in the same room. They might be in different levels of your house. So, and it doesn't bother the cat at all. So that's the one thing. It's for the cat parent, and it has the cat, they just hop right into the litter box. It doesn't, phase them in the least.
Yeah. So it lives on the edge of the
Yes.
litter box that you scoop from, and you
Correct.
don't lose it. You don't have to move it. And the price point's really affordable. So you could easily get one for every litter box, even if you had multiple pets.
Yes. And that was, what we wanted it to get into the hands of more cat parents, to make scooping easier, because that really impacts your relationship with your cat. Like just that respect of like the cleanliness. And there are many studies that show that cats do prefer clean litter boxes.
Absolutely.
So, especially in a multi-cat household and you are scooping a lot, it just makes it cuts you down on time. It makes it more efficient. And so you can spend time doing other things that you prefer to do.
Yeah. So any experienced cat parent knows that you have the cat. You have the scooper in one hand. I'm right-handed. So I have the scooper in one hand and I have the bag in the other hand, and one false move and that litter is all over the floor. So now you're not just scooping litter. Now you're vacuuming. So annoying. So this literally removes this hand, frees up this hand. You can open the bag a little bit more. If you wanted to, you just scoop it in. You're not holding, hoping that the weight of the litter box or the litter keeps it open. Like it's like defies gravity, really. Like when you're trying to do all these things, you're trying to defy gravity. So this makes it so much easier. I love the concept. I love that you had such a great response from people at SuperZoo. I also love the idea for people who are part of the disability community, kids that are learning to scoop litter boxes, people with arthritis, carpal tunnel. I had carpal tunnel during pregnancy so bad that I could barely hold a fork. So how was I going to scoop a litter box? Right. And I know that they say you shouldn't scoop litter boxes during pregnancy. I don't buy into that. Just wash your hands. Yeah. I mean, don't put your face in the litter box. But I really would have loved to have something like that when I was fostering my kittens, because it would have made it so much easier. Like you said, especially if you have a lot of cats and you're scooping a lot of litter boxes. As you age, as you get arthritis, that becomes so much more of a chore. Even it's already a chore for everybody.
Right.
But it becomes so much more difficult. So when I saw it, I thought this is amazing for, assisted living communities that allow pets. This is amazing for disabled pet parents who just need that extra help. I think it's such a great concept. And I also love the idea of teaching our kids to help with those responsibilities, like scooping litter boxes, without the risk of them making a huge mess. Do your daughters use them? Do they know how to use them? I know you have little ones.
Yeah. So my oldest is 6 and she is just starting now to want to come help mommy, clean the litter box. And she is using Scoop Buddy. So we just recently, this is just recent. She's had other chores prior to this with the kitties, but this was like the first time, she'll come with me downstairs and we'll scoop. And she's like, can I try? I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you can try, so she's just getting into it now.
Exactly. I definitely would not let Noah, who is also 6 years old, scoop litter boxes the old-fashioned way where you're holding the bag and hoping for the best. I definitely would not. And I want to take a break right here, but when we come back, I'm going to dig into that educator brain of yours, mom brain of yours, and we're going to talk about cats and kids. So don't go anywhere. I will be right back with Carolyn.
Molly, here's your dinner. Zeus, that's not your food.
Don't let that happen to your precious cat. Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Tree Tray. The Cat Tree Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and conveniently located on the cat tree. It's the perfect way to eat. It's a beautiful wrought iron tray that easily attaches to your cat tree and keeps dogs and other critters out of your cat's dish. A must for multi-pet households. There's a 6-inch tray for large bowls and a 4-inch tray for smaller bowls. Purchase your Cat Tree Tray today. Go right now to cattreetray.com. That's cattreetray.com. cattreetray.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Covered in Pet Hair. I'm your host, Isabel Alvarez-Arada, and today I am speaking to Carolyn Rafferty, who is the founder and creator behind Cat Savant, But she's also the innovator behind a litter box tool called the Scoop Buddy. And today we have discussed the Scoop Buddy, what it does. There's 2 separate pieces. They clip onto your litter box on the side of your litter box. It holds the bag. It has 2 sides to the clip so that the bag goes in. And then you spread the bag out. You put the litter in. The clips live on your litter box, so you don't have to worry about like, where did they go? What did I do with them? I need my tool and I don't have it. They live there. She's thought of everything. I am so impressed because it's such a simple idea, but it's one of those that's like, why didn't we think about this before? So congratulations, Carolyn.
Thank you.
You guys did an awesome job with this. And I've actually seen them. They're sturdy. They're well made. They're well designed. And like you said earlier in the show, they don't bother the cat, because a lot of the tools that we love and that make our lives easier are like cumbersome for our pets.
Yes. Yeah.
This is a great concept. I love it so much.
You.
And because you're a mom and a former educator, I want to dig into this part of the show, into kids and cats and how we get them as little kids like you have and I have to kind of grow along with the responsibilities of cat parenting. So in this game, it's called Kids and Cats, and it's a quick fire. So I'm going to ask you questions and you're just going to give me a quick response. We'll dig in a little bit deeper after the game, but just give me your opinion. Again, I'm letting you off the hook. All right. No wrong answers. Here we go. At what age would you trust a kid to scoop a litter box? And I'm not talking about just your daughter. I'm talking about kids in general.
I would say older, probably 4th, 5th grade, like probably at 10 years old or so.
Okay, so that would be like their independent responsibility at 10 years old.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Noah has 4 years before he's going to take over all that.
We're going to get some motivation for them to want to do it. But
yeah, yes. Positive
I think they can
reinforcement.
handle it at 10, especially with Scoop Buddy. I think that would be easy.
Agreed. And then by then they can, if they make a mistake, they can vacuum for themselves. They know where the vacuum is. They can grab the vacuum and it'll be safe for them to clean up. Okay. How old should a kid be before taking over feeding responsibilities?
Both my girls have started around 3 or 4, and not like, they do the dry food or like the wet, and then I'll do like, go in with the wet kibble or the wet food. So and they feel like they're water glasses. So, within reason, just, because they just want to be helpers.
Exactly.
And they love their kitties. So they always want to, be a part of the process. But I would say, in general, like, 3, 4, maybe 5, depending on the responsibility of the child.
Yes. And we're not talking about like raw feeding bones and like chicken hearts.
Yes. No. And then that goes in with the whole cleanliness, making sure they're washing their hands. You don't understand the consequences to that. So.
Exactly. Yeah. So it definitely depends on what you're feeding your cat and your kid's responsibility and like listening skills too.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like also starting small with like just filling the water dishes, the water bowls would be like a great, way to get them involved and have them have a little independence and feel like they're important and contributing to the family,
Just have a lot of rags around just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case. Yeah. All right. Do your kids help wash the pet bowls?
They bring them to the dishwasher.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
That is helpful.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's perfect. How do you teach your kids to gently handle cats?
From a very young age, as soon as they are mobile, I'm, always with them. If they're around, if the kitty is in the room, I always give the cat like an out. So if they have a cat tower, they climb up. Literally my youngest right now, she just turned a year. She's, motoring all over, but I just do hand over hand and I show her instead of like grabbing the fur, which is like what they intrinsically want to do, open hand and gentle, head to tail. So I start from a very young age to learn how to pet them properly.
Okay. Other than grabbing their fur with like a fist, what other things have you seen your kids do that you're like, no, don't do that?
Oh, the tail. It's always the tail. The tail whips, and they just want to grab the kitty's tail. They think it's a toy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, no. The 2 kitties I've had them as kittens. They've grown with my kids basically. So I was really nervous introducing the whole baby thing to my cats. And I kid you not, like when I was pregnant, they would just snuggle my belly all the time. And I feel like they've literally imprinted on the kids. I'm not even joking. It's like they don't even sleep with us anymore. They sleep with the kids. So we're like, old
Your
news
chopped
to them.
liver.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you were chopped liver, they'd be closer.
Yeah, right.
You're definitely not desirable. Okay. Have your kids ever been scratched by either one of
My
your kitties?
oldest was scratched once by Penelope. She's the sassy one. It was very minor, nothing like it was more of a bat, but without claws, but the claw was long enough that it got her a little bit. But that was the only time. I mean, they have been so patient with our cat or with our kids and vice versa. So I think they're learning to respect one another. And I mean, that was literally probably 5 years ago, and we've never had an incident since then.
So do you think it was merited, like she was like trying to get space or something, or do you think it was just like she swatted like just playfully and scratched?
I think she wanted space because she was perched up on top of the couch, and my daughter climbed up to give her some love, but she just didn't want it.
Right.
And was like, okay, I need space, and the paw came out. And it wasn't malicious. I mean, she could have been, but it wasn't. Right. It was just like a warning. And she got up and she walked away. She's like, it's not for me right now. And so we learned to respect the space.
Yes, absolutely. Do you think cats are sensitive to different children's energies? Like, do any of your cats gravitate more to one kid over another?
If they're having a hard time, that magic number of 3, like the tantrums and all of that, when I'm trying to de-escalate my own kids, and I just, I don't even want it's too loud for me. The cats come and seek out the child having a hard time. And I'm like, go to the other side of the house. That's where I want to be. Like, so I'm crazy. Always so surprised. They come and they seek out if the child is crying and, having a hard time, regardless, even if there's, a boo-boo, like anything, like if it's, they come and check on them and they're there with them. And I was like, that to me, it still surprises me. It's still, I mean, it still happens. Like this week it happened. And I was like, why are you in here right now? But they come and they comfort and they snuggle up and, it helps calm the child down by petting them. And it's a great bond. I love watching that with my kids.
I love that too. Vango's younger. Vango's 1. He just turned 1 a month ago or so. And he seems to gravitate toward my daughter, who's more mellow than my son. But then whenever there's tantruming, he's kind of gone.
Yeah, and that's, I would say that's typical. I don't know what's going on with my cats.
they like you said, they have this bond. I mean, we've only had Van Gogh for less than a year, right? So he's still learning. And that's why I wanted to ask about that, because I feel like people just assume like dogs are great for kids, cats are bad for kids. And that's not the case at all. Like that's so black and white. And in pet care, that's not like every pet is an individual. Every child is an individual. Some kids take longer. Like my son has taken longer to learn the gentle, like approaches toward a cat. He gets so excited and he wants to pick him up. And he too has gotten scratched because Van Gogh's like, okay, Van Gogh's really, really good about letting him pick him up. But like at some point he wants to be let go and Noah won't let go. And so there have been a couple incidents and they've not been malicious. It's more like I'm pushing you. And I, like you said, like I scratch you by mistake. I didn't mean to scratch you, but I just wanted space. And then Mila kind of like is just kind of so gentle with him because that's just her energy and that's just her style, so he gravitates toward her, but he still plays like really well with Noah. So it's just a matter of, how they're feeling at the moment. Like you said, like whether they're ready to interact or not. Where the kid is, like if the kid's tantruming or screaming, laughing, giggling, like different cats are going to take to that very differently.
And I feel like also, the dogs versus cats, it's all about your behavior, your mannerisms. So, cats are not as well, let's start with dogs. Dogs are very excitable. So, you might want to go over and just rush in and pet them really quick. And usually cats don't appreciate that. So just learning how we approach a cat versus a dog, like that behavior, that mentality for a child to understand, that's huge,
Yeah, I'm laughing because I know we're talking about kids, but my husband is used to having dogs, and the way he approaches Van Gogh is really interesting to watch because he says like Van Gogh only wants to be with you. And I'm like, because I don't pet Van Gogh. Yeah. I only pet Van Gogh when Van Gogh comes to me to sit on my lap or to like be in my space. Like if I have the door closed, otherwise he'd be in here. And I don't know if he's going to want to be here or by the window where I have something set up for him. So I let Van Gogh choose when we interact. I don't go to Van Gogh and pet him. Like I don't walk to the other side of the room to pet him. And I feel like that's what you do with dogs. You go to them and pet them and they love it.
Yes.
But I always believed in waiting for cats to tell me what they want and acting accordingly. Unless, of course, they want to, cuddle like right now where I can't cuddle right now. So I have the door closed, right? Because it's not always on his terms. Like sometimes I have to set boundaries too. But it's so funny because Chris is so hurt. He's like, I want a cat that like loves me as much as he loves you. And I'm like, well, then leave him be. Leave him alone. Maybe he will come to you when you stop.
Different concept for sure.
It really is. It's so funny to watch. Okay, so you're a teacher and we're talking about the things that cats teach us. What do you think the most important thing that cats teach children? And like, why would you say to somebody, yeah, you should definitely get a cat for your family because of these benefits of having a cat and kids?
Well, that's, there's so many. Number one, patience for sure. So, learning how, as you're saying, like learning to let the cat come to you. And if you are, aggressive and excitable, that's okay, but the cat's probably going to run away. And then you don't get your end result. So understanding the consequences to like how your behavior is affecting them, that's huge.
I love that.
Just that unconditional love. I know if they come home from a hard day of school, and I mean, dogs too, but there's something to be said about a cat laying down, calming you, purring, letting, when I was saying if they're having a hard time or having a tantrum, that presence coming into the room is very different than like an excitable dog. Like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? They come in with such an ease and such calmness, and it really affects my child and it helps them calm down. And I mean, you read about these things, but to see it firsthand is pretty amazing to watch that in real time. It really is.
I love it so much because even for me, like I love dogs. I've always loved dogs. I have a dog. I had 4. They've all slowly retired, for lack of a better word. And I got a cat because I wasn't ready for a puppy. And I feel like in order to really have a successful experience with Noah specifically and a dog, it would have had to be a puppy that kind of grows up understanding his way, his treatment. Because like if I bring a senior dog, which I love senior dogs, in with a toddler at the time, or like a young child that doesn't have a great understanding about boundaries and pets, I felt like I was going to set up that senior pet or senior dog for failure. So I got a cat, and I can't tell you how amazing the experience of having a cat has been, because I'm super stressed. I'm a mom. I work. My husband travels all the time, and having that presence, like you described, that calmness, that it's not even calm. It's just like that balanced energy. Cats have a very balanced energy.
Yeah.
It balances me. I really love it. And I will say that that's not unique to cats necessarily, but it's less common in dogs. Because I had a dog, Titan, he's right over here somewhere. I can't remember. But he passed away in January, and he was a very balanced energy as well. Sometimes he would kind of cross over to a little anxious and skittish, sometimes under the right circumstances, or wrong circumstances rather. But for the most part, he was a very balanced energy. And we used to joke that he was kind of like a cat. He had like one person.
Well, yeah, when you see dogs with that energy, it's like the cat energy, from the dog. So
yes, exactly. I never knew, I knew that I should get a cat. Something just told me it was kind of like divine intervention, if you believe in that. But every day that I see my kids growing with a cat, I'm so grateful that whatever it is that I trusted it, that whatever led me to get Van Gogh, that I'm so grateful I trusted it, because it's really been amazing. So how do you include your girls in like cat enrichment? Because we all know that most cats aren't getting enough playtime, enough enrichment. And I'm sure, knowing you, that you make that a priority.
Yeah. So the girls love to play with the cats. There's definitely some teaching that goes involved with that. So learning even the placement of the toy, so it's not in their face, and, letting them actually get the toys sometimes so they feel like rewarded for, their playtime. So we typically do a playtime routine with the cats before bedtime. So we kind of just fit it in, and that's how it was before kids. And so now we just kind of included them into the routine as well.
That is
and then once the kids go down, and they love, little treats, we try not to overdo it, but we have some treat puzzles as well, which is great stimulation, especially, I let the cats be quiet in our den, our living room, with the treat puzzles for each of them as like we do the bedtime routine. And it's funny because the cats love story time. So they always like do their like treat puzzle or, what we have left for them. And then they'll come upstairs to do story time with us every night. And it's so cute.
I love that so much. Okay. So what do your daughters think about your creation, the Scoop Buddy? Do they know that you made that thing that goes on the litter box?
My oldest does. So she was very excited for us when we went to SuperZoo, and she actually wanted to come in on our call because she wants to say hi to Miss Isabel today.
Oh,
because she saw you the other day. Yeah, I will. So she gets it. She's 6. My other ones are too young. I mean, they not yet.
Yeah. Do you tell them like mommy sells these like to other pet parents?
So we talk about how mommy and daddy invented the product, and that that's our business, and how we're selling them. Cool. And they're starting to become in stores now, in retail stores. We're very excited about. And so she gets it. She's really excited. My middle one, she's just starting. She's like, wait, kind of asking questions now. So she'll get there.
You made this? And she has no idea what it took to make that tiny little thing. And I don't want to get into the weeds about it, but how long did the design process and like from conceptualization to actually having a product to sell, how long did that take?
Well, we were in the middle of the pandemic, so it probably took longer than most. I mean, it was a different time period. Right. So between the design process, we did 3D printing to, test out different styles. And then we found one that worked for us. We sent it out for product testing. And then we got through to the molds and the manufacturing and all of that. So it was about a year, give or take. Just around there to actually, plus we're juggling kids and everything else. Gosh. So it was, a little crazy there, but.
Oh my God. I don't even know how you have done all this. Do you guys have any experience in manufacturing?
No.
So you're just smart like that.
Yeah. A lot of research. We read a lot. I don't know.
That's amazing. I'm so happy.
It out. That's just it. We figure it out.
Proud is the wrong word because I have nothing to do with it, but I'm so proud of you and like the conviction it took to be like, this is a good idea and I'm going to do this because it's such a good concept. And there are a lot of good concepts that never see the light of day because people don't have the gumption that you and your husband have had with 3 small children. Well, one of them was probably in utero when the bulk of this was happening.
Yes.
So the gumption it took, I'm so impressed. But tell us, where can we buy the Scoop Buddy?
Yeah, so right on our website at catsavant.com. And we now include free shipping. It's in the US. And then we are starting to get picked up by some retailers. Actually, thankfully, from SuperZoo, they found us. And since then, we've been just kind of organically moving into different stores. We're trying to get into some spaces locally and some bigger names pretty soon, hopefully. So we got some things in the works.
Amazing. I have some ideas of people I need to connect you with that I'm not sure if you met or not. So we'll talk about it at another time. But I just want to propose a toast to you. And like I said, your gumption, your conviction to make this happen. You and your family are so lovely. I've so enjoyed getting to know you. Cheers. Here's to you.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Lovely. It really was. I love catching up with you. I also want to propose a toast to our executive producer, Mark Winther. Thank you, Mark, for letting me do this for Pet Life Radio. And also to our audience, thank you so much for joining us for these awesome conversations. Please support Cat Savant. I'm sure this is one of many products they're going to create to blow our minds and make cat parenting easier. So cheers. Here's to a life covered in pet hair, because there's no better way to live.
Very true. Thank you so much for having me.
It's my pleasure. To learn more about Covered in Pet Hair, please visit coveredinpethair.com or petliferadio.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Let's talk pets. every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.